for the 100 in the Hands, and I was recommended by a friend. He contacted me as female singer and keyboard player for his band. So I joined and we went on tour.
We met, practiced, and then went on tour a month later. So our whole getting to know each other was this rehearsing and then touring together.
And we really connected from the first time we met. And so it was logical that when that tour was over and that we start a music project, a new band together, and that's what this band is. So the life of this band is very much, it coincides with our relationship with each other.
Dresden was the first thing, and so we came back from the tour, and we hadn't really decided that we were definitely starting a band together, but we were given some studio time, and we had 2 days, and we went in, and we came in, and I had kind of sketched out the lyrics and the chord progression, and Eleanor developed the vocal melody, but we didn't have very much more than that, so in 2 days we kind of put it together with an album producer. At the end of it, that was the beginning of the band. But then it kind of sat around for a little while, and we weren't really sure what it all meant. So the next song was that we properly wrote as like we are the 100 in the Hands writing songs was Ghosts. It took a long, much longer than 2 days. We split up. We each write sketches on our own, we both work on lyrics and music, and so we kind of develop like our own little collection, and then we get together and we start recording and writing at the same time, so from the point where we get together, it becomes, we're both writing everything.
It gets to the point where we usually just start with a seed of an idea that we bring in and we both work on things together, so it gets to the point where sometimes I forget which one of us brought in the initial musical information or whatever it was that got it started. It's very collaborative, which is really cool, sometimes complicated, but often like really rewarding. This is the name of an American battle between the Native Americans and the colonial Americans in the 1850s in Wyoming. And it is the name is taken from the Native American history of the battle. It's references a shaman who had a premonition the night before the battle, rode in and out of the camp on a horse yelling, "I've got too many in the hands, I've got 100 in the hands." And so the next day, this battle was a victory for the Native Americans, of which there are very few. And that's why it was given that name.
My other bands, I mean, odd jobs and stuff, but it was pretty much focused on that, and it just, the one segued into the other one.
I'd been working on, stuff on my own, writing music, but I hadn't really found my footing. I came out of a classical music program where I studied classical voice, opera, but that wasn't really my calling either. I liked learning all of the elements that come with a classical music education, so music history, music theory, learning the music, becoming proficient, the language of music. So that was, once I left music school, I just went to New York and I didn't know what I would do. I think there's, I don't know, I mean, the album should in some fashion speak for itself. I think that we've done our best to articulate what it is in the music. So, but I do feel like it has a lot of range in the sense that it goes to different places. It
I
doesn't.
think for us, we always think of it as being like the EP and the album in our heads is kind of one just big thing because we made it all at the same time and we decided there's 6 songs were going to be the EP in which 11 songs were going to be the album. So we were kind of thinking, I mean, the EP we kind of thought of as being more dreamy, more summer vibes.
More of a continuous feeling from one end to,
Yeah.
to the other.
Hazier. And then the album we had thought of as being the songs that were the more kind of assertive and the more like starkly defined, the more immediate.
In focus.
Yeah. But the ideas we were playing around with were a lot of lyrically were a lot of things about kids and cities in general,
romance, but often from the perspective of jaded teenagers in the city, you know, kind of thing. Maybe you have a jaded perspective on romance or whatever it is. There's definitely like a post-apocalyptic vibe that comes up throughout the record. All over the place.
It's a terrible question to try to answer. It always feels like a trap door. It's like we end up rattling off so many different things but it was kind of like how we really bonded when we first got to know each other was listening to a lot of different things on that tour. And so we were listening to a lot of, at the time, a lot of like early ska and dub and a lot of house music, a lot of post-punk, which is kind of like the old familiar standbys, 60s mod, girl group stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Jason worked in a record shop for a while before he became, you know, a musician and was all over the place with the Bog. So his collection is really expansive, and his knowledge about different genres and everything is pretty wide. So I feel like we like kind of breaking it up, listening to a really awesome jazz reactions to, you know, some proper punk next to like a classical record or whatever it is. We aren't really genre focused.